INFJs are introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging is one among the 16 types of personalities recognized by the Myers Briggs Type Indicator or MBTI. Each of the INFJ personality type's 4 letters stands for a crucial characteristic. INFJs prefer to be ordered and prepared rather than spontaneous and flexible. They're energized by time alone, focus on ideas and concepts rather than facts and specifics, and make decisions based on their feelings and ideals. INFJs are the rarest personality types in the whole world, but that's just a part of what makes them unique. When they're at their best, INFJs are gentle, patient, and superb at their work. INFJs are nurturing creatives who have a strong sense of morality and a desire to help others reach their full potential. If you know an INFJ, you'll know that they have an enhanced sense of perfection and will stop at nothing to be the best versions of themselves. While there are thousands of things that INFJs can be able to perform, there are a certain number of things they're best at. Here are the insane ways by which we would know how INFJs are perfectionists. INFJs, a P.O.V. We may have caught a peek of INFJ perfectionism if you observe a young INFJ continually balling up the story they're writing, throwing it in the garbage, and scowling angrily. Young INFJs have very idealistic expectations for the things they make. They frequently find it stressful and time-consuming to share their ideas with the world. They believe that their idealized version of reality must be fulfilled. It doesn't help that they frequently envision challenging, substantial projects rather than straightforward ones. The number of times they can rework, discard, tweak, adjust, and correct their project will eventually tire them. When an INFJ is working artistically, it's crucial to give them some space from their appearance. Even if you feel the need to intervene, give them room if they're not happy with what they're doing. INFJs often take their work very seriously and won't seek feedback until they're prepared to request it. And the majority of the time, they will ask when you're ready. When they do request comments, make an effort to be as uplifting as you can and offer specific praises rather than vague ones. If they want suggestions, make sure to give them both constructive criticism and compliments on their good work. One of the most fastidious personality types, INFJs are always looking for ways to improve things. They hold themselves to very high standards and are always striving to do their best. They may become too critical of themselves as a result, constantly believing that they could perform far better. INFJs strive for perfection despite not having such high expectations of other people. They simply have high expectations of themselves and get angry if they feel unsatisfied. They frequently put off doing something because they believe they haven't done it perfectly. Someone cannot consider themselves to be a perfectionist despite being an INFJ. INFJs, what makes them different? We, being INFJ perfectionists, might have shrugged their shoulders at a subpar arithmetic test result and did give a damn about grades. Being a wallflower and introverted by nature also might have a similar disregard for our social position and was not very worried about it. One also doesn't play sports at a young age because the thought of aimlessly whacking a ball on a field on a court or elsewhere filled me with a mixture of disgust and apathy. As a result, one can also be turned off by these hobbies' competitive nature. It would take me a long time to discover that, like almost all INFJs, one is a perfectionist. He or she was determined to arrange thoughts because failing to do so would imply that they lacked self-control. In other words, they had perfect expectations for themselves. INFJs are prone to going on a never-ending quest for self-improvement. Our type's judging and feeling functions are what cause us to be so hard on ourselves and so concerned about our well-being, respectively. As a result, we're prone to constantly finding fault with our current circumstances and are maybe fatally attuned to the minute imperfections we notice in them. The sense that something is always incorrect and requires adjustment to even momentarily alleviate the restlessness. That's probably perfectionism, I agree. The constant pressure to get better can be a real drag, disrupt our concentration, and heighten our anxiety. Unfortunately, this restless driving force is quite subtle, which is bad. It has crept into our thoughts top secret project hubs. We don't tend to advertise our self-improvement ideas. That would be far too exposed and unsafe. INFJs frequently present as reserved, compassionate, and sensitive people who pay close attention to the opinions and concerns of others. They have a keen sense of human nature and a desire to aid others in understanding. INFJs are not afraid of having complicated personal issues because they're highly complex and have a deep inner life that few others are aware of. They give ethics a lot of thought and have strong emotions. Counselors may surprise others with their fervor when one of their principles is attacked or questioned because They originally come across as so kind and restrained. Their apparent composure masks the intricacy of their inner selves. INFJs might be challenging to get to know since they're such complicated individuals who may be reluctant to interact with someone who might not understand or value them. They're devoted to their own set of ideals and will not follow others down a route that doesn't feel true to them, even though they want to get along with others and support them in their endeavors. They tend to withdraw when they feel their morals aren't being upheld or when they have a gut feeling that someone's motives aren't genuine. INFJs follow a carefully thought-out set of personal ideals. They have a strong sense of utopianism and can easily picture a better, more ideal future. The hard realities of the present can discourage them, yet they're often driven and persistent in acting positively despite this. The INFJ has a strong internal motivation to do its part to improve the world to a perfect place to live in. INFJs and innovation. Many advocates believe that their lives have a special meaning and that they were sent to this planet to carry out certain tasks. Finding this purpose and then working toward fulfilling it are two of life's most fulfilling experiences for people with this personality type. When faced with injustice or imbalance, advocates rarely give up. Instead, they lean on their compassion and intuition to come up with a solution. Advocates are predisposed to correct the wrongs of the world, no matter how big or tiny, because of their intrinsic capacity to balance the heart with the mind. These personalities simply need to be aware that while caring for everyone else, they occasionally need to take a break and look after themselves. Because our introverted intuition is so disconnected from reality, we invent and then fine-tune concepts in our brains that would be impossible to carry out in the real world, according to the brilliant Frank James. An underdeveloped, unhealthy INFJ will eventually stop creating anything at all. We can recognize that we're this way because of our intuition, but we still won't try anything if we think the outcome would be less than ideal. The way that this concept intersects with the Enneagram is what confuses people about it. According to what we can understand, although some MBTI types are normally given numbers on the Enneagram, this isn't always the case. The INFJ, for instance, typically scores a 4 on the Enneagram. Though one can be used that there are plenty of INFJs who aren't 4s, let's assume everyone is. The one, the reformer, who is principled, in charge, and a perfectionist, grows from the 4, the individualists on the Enneagram. INFJs are perfectionists, although they're not detail-oriented perfectionists. After reading about INFJs numerous times, one can realize that they tend to be perfectionists who are quite hard on themselves. Though we can suppose that they figured it out since we could always both identify with it and not at all. One would not consider themselves a perfectionist in the sense that they have to get every last detail correct. For instance, whether we're drawing something, making something with our hands, or doing homework, we would be less concerned with following the rules exactly, not despising the rules, and more concerned with if the ultimate result is excellent. However, one can be a perfectionist in the broad sense. In other words, if they want to accomplish anything, they would either do it totally incorrectly or not do it at all. This is true regarding things like an exercise routine, romantic relationships, organization, and healthy eating habits. The thoughts of INFJ are the culprit in ultimately keeping us stuck, as they're all well aware of what they can do or not. The idea that INFJ has come up with is just too good, that they can screw it up. So they like to wait until a bit more skills are developed to do the work righteously. To overcome this problem of perfectionism, it is advised to go out there, fail and try next time by learning through their failures. In what ways do you strive for perfection? Let's know in the comments below, and make sure to like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel and come back to us for more such videos.